Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Sahara Omar. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist practicing here in the state of Texas. And Happy New Year. I hope all is doing well. Today's video, I wanted to focus more on mental flexibility, on what it is and how do we have that mindset where we are able to see all aspects of life without constantly choosing to live in one over the other or ignoring the other. In therapy, most people that come to therapy, at least with my clients that I see, they find themselves stuck on one side of the coin due to their upbringing. And the challenge is to learn and be flexible and recognize the other side of the coin equally exists. Okay, so we'll kind of walk through it together. I'll show you guys what does it look like, that mental flexibility, and also I'll give you guys an example and a tool towards the end to help you kind of start practicing becoming mentally flexible. Okay, so with mental flexibility first, the root of it is recognizing that all positive and successful traits exist in humanity and in life in general, and equally the other side of the coin, which is all negative traits and failed traits, exist in us as humans and in life in general. Okay, without making a decision to just finding ourselves solely in one side of the coin over the other all the time. Individuals that come to therapy who are stuck in the positive traits, or they only see the positive lens, they do struggle with a lot of anxiety and depression issues because their brain is saying to itself that this other side of the coin does not exist and I'm the one who's making a big deal out of it and I should be moving forward. So there is a little bit more extreme internal accountability, like self-blame, self-hatred, shame, all of that kind of the person holds on to themselves internally. And then the other side of the coin, when people come who are stuck on only seeing the negative things, they typically struggle with a lot of anger issue, meaning they don't have any understanding at the core that the other side of the coin equally exists and people have good traits in life is positive at times and not all negative and all failed experiences. Okay, so nevertheless, most of the people that I meet in therapy are the ones that are stuck in the positive lens, a lot of people-pleasing tendencies, a lot of yes, I'll do it, it's my fault kind of language. The people that come to therapy who are very much to struggle with anger, if they do come, typically it's court-mandated issues where cases where the court systems, like they come into a contact with the court system and they're forced to go to therapy because of that. I met few people who willingly came to therapy as they were just struggling with a lot of anger issues, but typically they don't stay on longer than 5 sessions, I would say, at least from my personal experience. Their own pride and ego gets in the way. They learn a couple of tools and they feel like they got it and then they move on, right? But the challenge is to continue to sit with recognizing if one side is more dominant, practicing making sure the other side is equally existing within us. Okay, what's getting in the way at the core is going to be that emotional piece, right? So holding on to two ideas that are not equally familiar in our brain causes what we call cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the pain that we feel on a cognitive level and physical level at times as well too, of just realizing that the other side equally exists. So I want to give you guys an example of what does it look like. So let's say, for example, you grew up, we'll look at it from a relational dynamic. Let's say you grew up with a mom who did a really good job providing for you financially. She worked double jobs. You never had to guess where your next meal is coming from. But if you only see that positive trait and you only praise mom for how she made sure that your needs were met physically, then you might forget the negative traits that she had, right? So the negative trait could be, for example, not having patience, not being patient with you, not being verbally affirming and validating to you, and even not being able to show up to, let's say, perhaps like sporting activities or things that you had going on, right? So that's also equally negative traits that we are recognizing. Maybe mom did a really good job showing up for you financially, and you never had to worry about being financially taken care of, but she failed to show up on an emotional level, right? And we want to hold both spaces and travel between the two, and not find ourselves just being in one side of the coin over the other side of the coin, like I said earlier. Okay, so ways that you can start practicing mental flexibility. Definitely number one, I'm always going to come back to sit down with someone. These mindsets are ingrained in us, and it's like a whole new lens that is attached to your psyche, and we do need someone outside of ourselves to point it out to us back and forth, right? So that's one way to kind of explore with your therapy sessions with your therapist on why am I stuck on one side of the coin. So when I work with clients, for example, right away you can tell if somebody's stuck on one side of the coin over the other through practice and skill, right? I will point them out to recognize, hey, this other side equally exists too. Are you even aware? And it does take time for the brain to recognize, oh yeah, I do see it. Also, if you are not able to afford therapy financially, the other tool that I really like is journaling through storytelling. Sitting down and reflecting on all the positive experiences that you had with your mom, for example, and all the negative ways that she failed that she could have shown up, right? So journaling is a really good tool, just allowing you to kind of try and travel. Sometimes a lot of my clients they would say when they journal, they're not thinking like on an emotional perspective, like they're not seeing their emotions until they write it down, and then when they read it out loud, they're like, oh wow, like this period of my life I was really sad because these things happened, or these things hurt me the most, right? So it is a freeing, flowing experience when we journal. I'm not a fan of daily journaling. It can get redundant and overwhelming for us, but journal intentionally at least once a week, or when a specific event comes up, or let's say somebody yelled at you at work and you're like, wow, that's so unfair, but also are you able to see possible stresses that they're going through, or other things that's hindering them from showing up in a kind, gentle way. That example, for example, is teaching you how to flow between the two. Okay, I hope you guys liked the video. Feel free to hit that thumbs up, share with others as well, and I will see you guys in the next video.